What is going on, y'all? Man, I just started this any old kind of way, didn't I? What's going on? Lead Farmer 73 here. What's up, everybody? Listen, are you ready for the freeze? Some of y'all are already freezing, and I thought this may help a little bit. If you are anywhere, it don't matter where you are in the United States right now. It's cold everywhere. I got on my little jacket here. 1 minute it's 80 degrees. The next minute it's like 8 degrees. What's going on, Q Dub? Guava, how you doing, my friend? Come on in, everybody. Ashley Williams, my own beautiful. How y'all doing? Good to see you. My Renaissance grandma, CP family. How you doing? Chef Handyman, Liddy Mae, Adina Collins, Shawanda, Eric. Let me see. Marilyn, how you doing? Von Will, Talisha, how you doing? Urban Backyard Homesteading, Mary Riz, how you doing? Good to see y'all. Yeah, this weather is tripping. So what I wanted to do live, I wanted to show y'all something. Right off the bat, I'm starting right off the bat, okay? Um, how many people got a wood stove? Do you plan on depending on your wood stove in your house? Say, I'm not looking forward to the freeze. G Chrissy, and I don't know why I'm playing. I knew something was wrong. There we go. Woo. Okay. So, cause it's going down now. It's going down tonight. Hey, Adina Collins, Uncle, how you doing? Says cold in Buffalo, New York. Man, I heard New York got hit with the Bama Lamb. Let me see. I was enjoying this warm weather in the southeast. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's just right now, it's taking a dip, man, because the north is getting hit. The north getting hit so hard, some of that is coming down here and getting on us, right? Let me see. I moved down to the south so I ain't have to deal with this no more. Say it's not supposed to get below 20 in your area. Whew. What's going on? About that life, I think it is. Yeah, how you doing? Daily Dose says 60 in Ohio. What? 60? Oh, y'all must be getting lucky today. Flew away said, man, I'm shoveling snow in Connecticut right now. Hey, look, listen. I moved down here and I moved my whole family here and I uprooted my whole DNA chain to move down here. Cause listen, y'all can have it how you want. I never want to see snow again. Listen, it's it's beautiful. Just like the ocean is beautiful. I don't want to be in the middle of the ocean. I watch them junks off TV. I'm cool. I did my time of snow. Um, C. Francis says solar panels and EcoFlow hooked up for my greenhouse heater. It'll be cold in Florida by Florida standards. Us too. Right, right. Um, let me see. Multiple backups. Now, this is what we're talking about today, real quick, okay? And I'm going to try to make this really quick because it's something else. I want to do another video that I really want to show y'all that maybe you may want to do right now. But right now, I'm going to go ahead, 60 in Indiana. Oh, well, you right by Ohio. So, yeah. So, listen, I want to show y'all something. If you plan on Urban Backyard Homestead, it's sunny right at the moment, but we see a sun few and far in between in my part of California. Just dreary days. Yeah, yeah. Renaissance Grandma says 70 in Missouri. What? Stuff don't sound right. None of this sound right. 69 in Indiana today, dropping tonight, 23 degrees. It's going to be dropping here today down to 27 degrees. So I said before, I do a lot of stuff off this camera. I need y'all to understand that. But I said, you know something? I'm going to take a second while I do this on a smaller scale and show you. So my first question is, how many people have buddy heaters? Do you have a buddy heater? A buddy heater is one of these, Mr. Heaters. How many people have something like that? Okay, okay. Khaki got one. Second floor guards that just got one for Christmas. Okay, okay. And listen, if you asking for gifts, man, y'all better start getting some prepping gifts. Chef Handyman got one. Okay. Tiffany Williams, you don't. I'm not. Okay. This is for people that have something like this. Here go a baby buddy, something like this. This is all you need. This is all you need in a small space. Urban Backyard Homesteading say I have a few. Okay. Now, uh, here's the deal. You say you have a whole home gas backup system, and I'm not gonna knock your system, okay? But I'm telling you right now, I can't pronounce your name. That's why I keep on skipping over you. All right, I can't pronounce your name. I'm not gonna cut it up for you. But you say you have a whole home gas backup system, sister. Let me tell you something. Get you a small heater like this. Get you a small, either propane or not even electric, something small propane like this. And there's a reason for that. Why on God's green earth would you want to try to heat your entire home in an emergency? I'm asking. Because all you're doing is wasting energy and wasting fuel. You're heating up rooms. Say thank you. You got the Delta. I love it. You're very welcome, Charles Moore. Which Delta did you get? Thank you, Khaki. And the reason why would you be trying to heat up a room? It's a small home. It doesn't matter, my friend. You still need something singular. It doesn't matter how small your home is. Look, you saw my cabin, right? My cabin is small, but you will see these all on my floor, and it's a reason for that. Because if I have an emergency and it gets too cold, I'm not trying to heat up that whole cabin, even though it's only under 300 square feet. I'm not trying to heat up all of that. I only want to heat that part where that bed is. You know what I'm saying? Right, you can move that buddy heater, and you want to know the best part? You can take it with you. You can put this in your vehicle. You can have, this one is actually for your vehicle. You can have this one in your car, in your SUV, in your truck, and set that down in the cup holder, and you got heat. That's what I'm talking about. You don't try to heat up your whole house in an emergency. Listen, I'm telling you, because you know your house is not efficient. They don't make efficient houses. Normal, average people do not have efficient homes. That's for super ultra rich people that have the super high efficient blabbity bloop houses. We normal people don't, you know. And you should always have blankets on hand and small space heaters, something that can heat up I don't know, 15 by 15 room, little closet style room, or a little guest room or something, a bathroom. It's a reason for that. Because once you have an emergency, and you will hear your emergency backup gas or whatever heating up your whole house, no matter how small your house is. Now, if you talk about you got a tiny home or something, I kind of get it. But you know, I've been in my own cabin. It's only, what did I say? It's 32 by 12, and it's still. Sometimes you want to cut half of that off with a sheet, block it off with some plastic, and just concentrate on heating this one part that you in. Trying to heat up everything, it just doesn't work. I'm not knocking you or anything. I'm just telling you sometimes it's a better way to and in emergency, efficiency is key. Efficiency is everything in an emergency. So let's stop talking for a second. But honestly, if you have one of these, so this will catch my point. If you have something like this, now here's my next question because I'm not seeing nothing moving. Urban Backyard Homestead says exactly to heat certain areas. Absolutely. Um, okay. Let me see. Here's my key. If you have one of these heaters, does it work? I need for you right now to go and see if it works. Get it out the closet, get it out of the garage. Everybody should be doing this right now. Kaki says have divided a bedroom with thermal curtains. Listen, I grew up doing that. My daddy used to have paneling boards that supposed to go on the wall for decoration, and he would take a piece of paneling that he never got rid of. He'll pull it out of the basement and he'll block rooms off in our house. He'll block the whole kitchen off, block off the dining room, and we had two ways to our kitchen and two ways to our dining room. He will block all of that off. All he heated, made sure it got heated, was the living room, and he had a kerosene heater. We all were in the living room. And then when it was time to go to bed, he got everything ready for upstairs, and that's when it's time to warm up the upstairs. Second floor garden say I still need to get a tank for it. You've never used this second floor gardens? Urban Backyard says I use mine for camping and outside on my patio in the winter, so I know they work. Okay, okay. What's up, man? For barbecue? Hey, look, get these out and make sure they work. All right, that's all I'm saying. Because you will be surprised how many things go wrong in an emergency when you're trying to get all your equipment to work. Um, Katina says if the power goes out, you have no backup heat. Uh, you do not want your pipes to burst. Well, that's true. I remember those days. That's true. I'm trying to remember how that works. So you have, see, I've lived down in the South now so long. I'm trying to remember the old days. So you have gas with a pilot light. Let's get something straight. Because if the power goes out in 2025, everything goes out. Because your pilot light, let me see. Tam says I love my buddy heater. I also have a wood burning fireplace too. That's good. And we're about to start talking about the wood burning fireplace right now. But I want to talk about my Renaissance grandma said we block off rooms as well. Absolutely. Katina said I have wood heat. There you go. But if that gas heater goes out, the newer gas furnaces are still run by electronics. That's what make them, they're safer, but they fail. Because once the power goes out, your heat goes out. Now, in the old days, I said the old days, the older furnaces used to be, it had a pilot light that stayed on 24/7. Even in the summertime, the pilot light stayed on. Chrissy says, I'm upgrading my thermal curtains soon. Okay. Upgrading your thermal, I don't understand that. But that's why I say we all need different ways to heat your home, right? All kind of different ways. Don't just stop because you got a wood furnace. Don't just stop because you got a gas furnace, propane. a buddy heater, diesel heater. I think everybody, if especially my people watching me in the north right now, you should have every way to heat your home imaginable. You should have electric space heaters. You should have a kerosene heater. You should have a diesel heater. You should have a doggone wood heater. You should have a buddy heater. Propane. You should use let me see. Linda Petty said, I have the 24-hour pilot gas. Okay, those aren't as safe these days, but they are reliable when the power goes out. Because back in the day, our power was always out when I was a kid, but that gas furnace keep on trucking because of that pilot never goes out, and that's what keeps that furnace running. Charles Moore said that's why you need backup power for just in case. So my previous thermal curtains got damaged. Okay, I got you. But yeah, the firewood stacked in my hand warmers are ready for the. Okay, see now we talking. Now we talking. So if you guys, if you let me see, I'm so glad I have never lived in the snow below. I have, so I know. Trust me. Uh, Let me see. Kagi said, I've experienced gas furnace not giving sufficient good heat. And that has to do with old ductwork and old homes, old drafty homes. It's a lot of things to go with that too. Let me see. Patrick says, I use wood along with the furnace if the power goes out, and it has and will. I use the fireplace and block off rooms. Absolutely. So this is what I wanted to. I did this on purpose, so I wanted to show y'all something before I got started. I'm gonna try my hardest to let you see what is dangerous inside of your wood stove. You see that black sparkly stuff in there? Just like in the chimney of your grill that you use all the time. That's called creosote. Now this stuff is so awful. All it takes is if you get enough of that in your chimney, this whole thing will ignite and burn so hot that it could melt this. It could even melt some of the thicker metals that's going up your doggone chimney. This is what you want to keep clean, okay? I'm gonna try my hardest to get some of this. It's so hard to get off. Here we go. Here go a piece of um, I think this is, what is this? Birch. You see it white. See that? That's highly flammable. Do you see it? So you want to make sure you clean it out. Now that's just a little bit. But if you burn wood a lot in your house, in your wood stove, that creosote needs to be cleaned on a regular basis. And everybody keep talking about some clean it once a year. Listen, I beg you, don't do that. Don't wait that long. I don't care. I have a short my chimney on my cabin is about 12 feet tall. 12 feet. Yeah. I clean that mug out several times a year, like during use. And I mean that from my heart. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna get some more creosote here in a second. Cause we about to do this. This one ain't so bad. Oh, look at that one. Look at that one. See, that really ain't bad, but when you use a little wood stove like this is bad, okay? So, look at that. You do not want that. You want to take a brush, a wire brush, and go in there and clean that out for real, okay? I'm just doing this for demonstration. And that's the flue right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually get a fire going, okay? So I'm gonna just quickly put a few of these together. And this little wood stove right here, I'm gonna redo this and refinish it because this is my all-time favorite little bitty wood stove. But listen to this. I mean this. Uh, I had a family member on Freedom Acres, and she really wanted to know about the creosote that I'm always. It scares me. That's why. Okay. I'm always going in on the creosote. And she was like, show me this creosote that you always talking about. I said, come here. Now remember, my smokestack is about 8 inches around and it goes up 12 feet higher than the furnace, probably 5 feet higher than the rooftop. Need to go up another notch. But listen to this. I had a 5-gallon bucket, and on my wood stove, I got a hatch under the bottom that you can take it out and run your doggone brush up there and clean it out. I filled that 5-gallon bucket up with creosote, and I hadn't been burning all winter because everybody is not going to burn clean hardwood. Nobody's burning hickory and birch and cherry wood and pecan. Ain't nobody burning that because it's very expensive. People are burning trash wood, they burning pine, they burning whatever they find in the yard, some old down tree that people burn a lot of gum tree. And let me tell you, that stuff burn nasty. And when you burn that, it lets out more creosote, okay? And something else too. People, they, this, I don't know if you can see that. That's the damper. And they don't want the fire to burn. They want the fire to burn as long as it can all night. So they turn that damper down so the fire ain't blazing hot, super hot. And let me show you something. I hope this got it. Wait a minute. I hope this got it. No, I cleaned it. I cleaned it. But you see that flap in there? That flap, when you close it, wait a minute. When you close that flap, let me open so you can see it. When you open it all the way, less creosote buildup. When you close that, what you doing is you letting this thing cool off. Remember, it's cold outside. So it's cold on this side of this tube. Inside is hot. What that's doing is causing condensation and liquefying, and all that condensation is mixing with the creosote, and that's what gives you, like if you got like a barbecue grill and it got that's right. And it don't help when the wood ain't seasoned. Absolutely. Matter of fact, it make it even worse. Um, but that's what you ever looked inside of a tube of a barbecue grill and it's all that goo and it look like just burnt syrup in there. That is the creosote. That right there, that goo in that barbecue grill, that's not barbecue sauce. That's actually as flammable as gasoline. And that's creosote. Creosote mixed with moisture, mixed with condensation, keeps building up and building up. And the more that you do not clean it, you just like, I'll get it next year or I'll get it in a few months. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get off. Trust me. Man, get that out of there immediately, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put together. So, and here's the other thing. Say, I live in Metro Atlanta, and a rack of wood would cost 170 this year. Last year was 130. Absolutely. That's why I like living on my own land, because I don't pay nothing for wood. Unless it's something like this, what I got some wood right here for my smoker. But I'm just doing this for giggles. So you always pretty much want to run this wide open like this. Wait, just like that. The more you start turning it, trying to control the fire, you control the fire with this. Don't control the fire with that dampener. Don't do it. Don't do that. You almost want to burn your wood stove as hot as you possibly can. I know it's not efficient. You're gonna run through a lot of wood, but you also ain't gonna burn your dang on house down. Okay? So I've been dealing with these wood stoves for a long time. I even got one in my house in here. And I know how dangerous they are. Now I'm gonna run that right on up. Do I have any questions at all, y'all? Because what I'm telling you right now will probably save your life. This little wood stove. Oh, and this. This is a, I know what I got to show you. This right here is a spark arrestor. Because while you burning wood, sparks do go up that chimney. And they do fly off into your yard somewhere or on your land and set stuff on fire. So what this does is kind of deter it a little bit. All right, so a good spark arrestor is always key. That's your cap, okay? That goes on the top of your smokestack lighting. Now I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna put this up here. That's just for giggles, okay? I'm not gonna run it all the way up. But I'm gonna show you something else, all right? This is for everybody that's getting ready for that freeze. Please listen up, because I do not want to see you on the news. All right, if you have elbows, on your pipe, re-guiding it out the house and then up to the rooftop or whatever, this right here, listen to me close. This is deadly. I know you got to get the doggone pipe out the house. This is deadly, and I'm going to show you why, okay? This is a 45-degree angle. This is an elbow. If you can get the one, I can't remember the angle it is, a 30-degree, I believe it is, that's, let me see if I can bend this. No, I can't. That's kind of like this. Get two of those instead of just paying for one of these, and I'm going to tell you why. Look inside. You can't, you see the creosote? The buildup comes in the smokestack and tries to whip around this corner and get caught in every one of these ridges. Look, it's falling from the bottom. Look, I ain't even did nothing. These they're necessary sometime, but they're dangerous. If you can get away from this right here, get away from this. If you can run your smokestack straight up through your rooftop, if you can, that's the best option. If you have to run it out the side of your house, don't get a 45. Because this year, I'm going to be changing my 45 out on my land and getting the other one that is not like this, but I think it's a 30-degree, like this. Like this. And if I do two of those, it'll give me the same as the 45, right? But it'll take a little bit more effort. And I'm going to spend a little bit more money buying those extra parts. But it's a smoother transition for that smoke, so the creosote has nothing to build up on. And I don't want these ridges on here. I want it as smooth as possible, because I wish you could really see that. Yeah, you can. Can you see that? Can you see that? This is clearly the direction that the smoke goes. Now watch the other side. This is where it come out of. Oh, no. Oh, this is just effed up both ways. This is creosote from the last time I used this. During an example, when I ran it, I had this lit up inside my house. This, if you can, get rid of these if you can. Right? Okay. Say, okay, says, I wish I could see your name. I can't pronounce your name. Led, what's a good tiny house wood stove? Can you post your choice later in the chat? Searching for a good wood stove to purchase. I gotta see your name. Siri? Can I just call you Siri? Okay. Um, how big is your tiny home? I'm gonna ask you while I do this, okay? Because I don't want to be here all day with y'all. Because I know y'all got stuff to do. It's Sunday. How big is your tiny home? Because that's important. And if you asking for prices, okay, okay, you got a tiny home. Okay, how big is it, Siri? If you don't mind me asking. This question might help other people too. Gotta do at least a 16 by 32. Okay. I'm in love with my wood stove, and my wood stove does the job. Now here's the other thing: is your tiny home insulated? That's very important. Is your tiny home insulated? All of that is very important. It's insulated? Okay. So if you got the same one that I got, 12, you said, I think you said 16 by 32. If you got the same one I got and yours is insulated, it will be more than enough for you, which would be the, I forget the name of it. It's from Tractor Supply. Oh, I know the Teton, the Teton, the Teton. That's the one I got. Now, here's the thing about this, okay? I got it from Tractor Supply. It was on a crazy clearance sale, plus I had some coupons. But I need you to understand something. It's not the wood stove that's gonna cost you. It's the through the wall kit, and it's your smokestack. Your through the wall kit is going to cost almost as much as your wood stove, and then your smokestack, depending on how tall you need it to be, will end up costing the same or more than your wood stove. So imagine if your wood stove is $6.99, you're probably going to come somewhere around that with the just say $400 for the through the wall kit, and then depending on how tall you need your smokestack, each section, 36 inches of smokestack, is like $100. 36 inches is 3 feet, so every 3 feet is gonna cost you $100. And that was, what was that, 2 years ago? Okay, a year and a half ago when I did it. So I want you to remember that too. Prices on things that have changed. So all of that is important to know. And I'm not joshing you, man. People out here really need this information, and is rough, you know. So I'm just trying to get a little fire going. Do I have any questions, y'all? Thank you. Oh, you're very appreciative. I mean, you're very welcome. Hey, Granny Karma, how you doing? good to see you in here. I'm just messing around here, and I'm just showing them, man, this is so important. If you don't know what you're doing, especially when the time hit. Do that. No questions. Uh, so it came right on time because I've been iron wood stoves. Okay. Got a question. Let me see. Say, got a question. Hey, Leah, how many square feet does your Teton stove heat? I think I can't remember, but it's way more than 300 square feet. I want to say it was, I can't remember, 2,000 square feet. It's some thousands though. Okay, it's some thousands of square feet, and I'm only dealing with under 300. So yes, uh, was the info you just gave for self installation? Yes. Question. The info you gave is for self installation. Yes. The info that I just gave was for if you do it yourself. Absolutely. If you have somebody else do it, take out a small loan. Trust me. Because trust me, I didn't want to do it at first until I start getting prices on carpenters and people to come and do. Didn't pay that much for the damn cabin, right? You're so welcome, Charles. Hey, Granny Karma says, growing up, we used to use um, the bath in what was that? Used to use bath in tin tub in front of stove. Oh, got you. The pipe used to come loose, often fell on me and scarred my leg, hand. I'm lucky to be alive. Scares still visible. Scars still visible. Hey, hey. But you know something? You alive. You alive right now because of it. I know that. I know that's right. Okay. I'm gonna break that down a little more. But trust me, if you hook, you can do it yourself, and it's really not hard to put a wood stove in your home yourself. It's actually kind of fun. You should do it like in spring or fall, though. Trust me. But the thing about it is, everything that you do is going to be a fabrication. You will not have all of the parts that you need for what you're trying to complete. So be prepared to run back and forth to the big box store. And if you live in a rural area like me, everybody kept wondering why I didn't just finish it right off the bat, because my closest big box store is, so far away. I just can't. When I'm on Freedom Acres, I just can't just run around to the big box store like that. So it's like, okay, when I go back home, then I'll make sure I get more parts. And that took a long time. Okay, that took a lot of mileage. So that's one of those things that you don't hear too much about. Okay. So how many people are ready? Are you ready for this winter? Are you ready for this winter for real? Anybody? So let's get this thing cranked up. Is y'all ready for it or not? Oh yeah. Let me see. Did you figure did you figure out what was going on with the diesel heater? With the diesel heater. Did I figure out what was going on with the diesel heater? I have one on the fritz. Big bad bow. I did figure it out. And usually, I'm going to tell you, I can't believe you asked me that. If I told you what was wrong with the diesel heater, you wouldn't even believe me. You would not believe me. You want to know what it was? A fuel line. The fuel line had a little leak in it. Um, and when you have that little leak, it throws error codes. And you really, if you got your diesel heater outside somewhere, you really never see the leak. Let me see. Julie says, I live in a mobile home I purchased in 1997 with a fireplace already installed. Do I need to clean it although I used it about 10 times? You need to absolutely clean it. Absolutely. Do not listen. If you need to ask, should I clean it? Listen, go clean it. And this is how I feel. I've only used my wood stove probably 10 times this season rather. Hey, for New Year's Eve, I'm going to clean it out again, just because, because it stay on my mind. If it's on your mind, and I'm gonna tell y'all this too. You clean your chimney every season. I clean my chimney several times a season. I don't play with that. I don't. I have something that I didn't share with y'all because it scared me half to death. Sis Natural says my buddy heater is being delivered today. Okay, good, good. Um, and listen to this. There was one night I was asleep. This is a true story, and this is what made me start cleaning my uh, my smokestack more regularly. Cause I'm thinking, I gotta wait. I got a whole another year. Plus, I live in the South. You don't you don't account for you purchasing junk wood or putting junk wood in the fireplace. Okay, you're not buying top quality wood. I can guarantee you nobody does that. It's very rare. The only people that burn hickory and birch and that good sweet hardwood, those are people that's putting on. They want a little fireplace for the holidays. They want it for show. They're not doing it to try to stay warm. Okay, not with no damn expensive hickory and stuff and pecan and birch and all of that. You're not doing it. You're buying wood from some lumber tree trimmer that's seasoned wood. You don't know what it is. You don't know where you got it from. You don't know if it's fully seasoned or not. You don't know anything, right? Um, so here's the problem. You're burning mystery wood, and you don't know what it's doing to the inside of your smokestack. This last winter, early last winter, my my furnace kept making this booming noise. Um, and it does this. Whoa! It woke me up. It woke me up. And I thought it was something outside barking, right? Whoa! I know that sounds crazy, but wouldn't that wake you up in the middle of the night? Wow! And it would do it probably every 5 minutes or so. Wow! So I wake up, I'm in the cabin, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is that. And now that I'm woke and walking across the floor, now when it made the noise, wow, the whole cabin lit up. I happened to look in at the fireplace, and the fireplace looked like it was shaking, like it was about to explode. And the noise that I was hearing was that fireplace trying to breathe. So this is the God's honest true story. So every time I heard that noise, what it was that's the time that fireplace is trying to suck oxygen so bad it's not getting any oxygen, that every time a little bit of oxygen builds up, remember I got hot coals already in there burning. What happens is, as soon as it get enough oxygen, it's like a piston and ignites, and it's boom, is hitting that cast iron, and the little bit of air that does ignite, just like a piston in your engine, the exhaust has to go up somewhere, so it's forcing its way out of the smokestack. What I did was open the door of my wood stove and start just knocking them coals down, getting them coals down. Yes, my cabin got smoky and everything. It was a mess. Fire detectors going off, everything. But this is what I learned. I put that fire out slowly, because I don't pour no water in there. So I put it out slowly, and I scooped out a lot of it, put it in my metal bucket. Keep a metal bucket in your cabin, trust me, okay? They're expensive, but they're worth it. Put the rest of those hot coals in that metal bucket, took that metal bucket out, dumped it in my fire pit, and then I started my buddy heater and started my diesel heater. The next morning, I'm gonna tell you what it was. The top, the cap that I showed y'all, the cap was completely filled with creosote. The furnace couldn't breathe. So it was sucking oxygen. And then when it finally ignite that oxygen, it boom it trying to get out from the exhaust. It's exhausting, so it's trying to find a way to get it exhaust. That's exactly how your engine works, right, in your car. So this is what I need you to understand, another thing about a wood stove. I can show you better than I can tell you. Okay, your wood stove gasifies, and that's the other reason I say stop turning that chimney thing down so low, because that wood lets off gas, lets off a flammable fuel. I'm not talking about the wood itself. I'm talking about as the wood burns, that turns your wood into charcoal. That's how you turn wood into charcoal. You encase it in something else and let it gasify and burn those gases out of the wood. And when it's done gasifying, you have charcoal. That's how that's done. So those gases that's coming off your wood, it ain't got nowhere to escape in your wood stove. So every time that all of that wood, that gasified fumes come off that wood, those coals end up igniting them, and then you have a bomb. Boom. So every time I heard that loud growl, that was actually a small explosion. And there's reasons why I don't have that on videotape, because that shit wasn't funny at 3 in the morning and you half naked and your wood stove is about to blow up. Okay? That was not for YouTube. That was not YouTube worthy. But it was one hell of a lesson. So the next day, what I did was, you gotta pull out the ladder. Go pull out that ladder. Go up on that chimney. And you gotta take that cap off. And then you got, it was caked in there. It was so thick, it was caked in, right? So I had to clean all that out with a brush, wire brush, clean it out. And then, while the cap was still off, I cleaned out that doggone smokestack. So that was my first time cleaning the smokestack. And I had a whole damn near, I'm gonna say 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket of creosote. From me burning junk wood, wet wood, because I can remember the wet wood I was burning was a lot of crepe myrtle. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you let crepe myrtle dry out, crepe myrtle is a great wood to burn. But if you burn crepe myrtle wet, because everybody cut their crepe myrtles every year, that's some good firewood, okay? It's actually some good smoking barbecue wood too. But if you burn crepe myrtle wet, that's pretty much what happens. So I had a bomb on my hands, and I wanted to make sure I told everybody that, because that was real. That was serious, okay? So that's why I always, if the notion comes into my head, I wonder if it's time to clean the chimney, go clean it. Just go clean it. Well, I'm gonna just have to let that go. If for any reason on the planet Earth you feel that you need to go get that chimney, get that chimney cleaned out, go clean it. Say okay on the crepe myrtle being good firewood. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. I'm gonna go grab some leaves too real quick. You don't want to put a lot of that in there. Do I have any questions at all, y'all? I thought my little piece of tissue would do it, but I guess not. That birch lights right up. And get you one of these. That'll get that fire moving. Look at that. I'm burning already. Leave that wide open till it get rolling. I got good smoke coming out the stack. Said there's so much online about this. How do you know what is real? Well, right now you can ask me questions. It's a lot online about all of this what I'm talking about, but I'm giving you the opportunity right now to ask me, and you see I'm not AI. That's very true. And you know what? You also get to see me every day doing this is my life. You see me living my life like this. So it's not some AI generated stuff. Do you use small pieces of pine from your pine trees for a fire starter? Yes, sometimes I do. I'm not gonna lie. I burn pine. People say they don't burn pine because it's nasty. I burn pine. I ain't gonna lie. I just keep my doggone chimney clean. That's it. True story. I burn pine, and I have a homestead with acres of land. I would be a fool not to burn pine wood. And trees on my land fall all the time. Don't be too quick to close this, okay? One of the problems, one of the biggest, do you clean your own chimney? Absolutely. Thank you for asking me that. I don't know your name, but here's the thing. If you hire a chimney sweep, it costs a lot of money, but they do a good job though. Okay, look, there go the fan turning already. If you hire a chimney sweep, they're gonna cost you. You need to really. There's nothing wrong with hiring a chimney sweep, but you also need to know how to do it yourself. Okay. This is what this is all about. Now I'm not gonna chop the wood so small. Let me see. Somebody asked another question. How often do you clean your chimney? Anytime I got time. I don't just wait. I don't wait one season. Whenever I got time, I'm doing it. Um, Lead, have you used that wood stove you are lighting now in your tent yet? Yeah, you may be a new subscriber, Siri. I've been using this one right here. What y'all? Probably 5 years. Absolutely. This is my tent wood stove. I got this one, and I got my camp chef right behind me, right here, the big one. And if you go back in my camping videos, my tent videos, you're gonna see this one all the time, and you're gonna see my camp chef, the bigger one, all the time. I use this stuff for real. Is maple a good wood to burn? We have a bunch of maple trees. Yes, it's good, but that's a premium wood. So if you got it on your land and you ain't barbecuing with it, absolutely. That's definitely a good wood to use. I got a lot of cedar and sweet gum trees. What do you think about burning that? I burn sweet gum, and it's a little it's hard to cut. It's hard to split, and it's all right. It get the job done. And you said what was the other one? Sweet gum and cedar trees. Cedar tree better be. Here's the thing about burning a cedar tree. If you don't have that cedar tree fully dried out, you're gonna have a problem. Okay, it lets off a black soot if it's not perfectly seasoned, and it smells like tar because that cedar wood got so much oil in it, and it's so flammable. You don't want that. See, I'm going with a little bigger pieces of wood. You don't go too fast. Dang, I messed that up. You want that thing to get some oxygen. So try to stack them on top of each other. Don't just lay down down there. They won't get the oxygen that they need to keep rolling. Let me see. I'm a bust one more. Say nope, no cedar wood burning for me. Yeah, me either. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's just too much. You gotta wait way too many. You gotta wait years for that cedar to burn. I mean, to dry out properly, because that's why bugs don't like cedar. That's why people build things with cedar, and you don't need any uh preservatives on cedar stuff because it's already filled with cedar oil. How to clean chimney is my problem. Okay, Julie, this is what you need. You need a chimney sweep kit. They sell them online, and they sell them at big box stores. Each chimney sweep kit, you got to know how tall your chimney is. Okay, I have one. I wish I had it here to show you, but it's on the land. Get a chimney sweep kit. Do you know the diameter of the inside of the tube that your chimney is? Do you know the diameter of the inside of your tube? Because that's how big you want that brush to be. Not too big, but not too small. Okay? You want to be able to brush the insides of that. Now, the reason why you need to know how tall it is because it's going to come with a bunch of little add-on sticks. It's going to go up 3 feet or 2 feet. You add another stick on. Go up another 2 feet, clean it, add another stick on, go up another 2 feet. Now, I'm going to tell you a good one. Let me get this log in here because I got one for you, okay? Dang, I did it again. There we go. There we go. Yeah, now we cooking. Now we cooking. Okay? Now I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to let that get started. Well, we'll do this. We'll close it up. Now you can hear that thing roaring. See that? This is what you want. You don't want to see smoke come out the chimney. You don't want to see that. Because that means you're not burning efficiently And when you see smoke, smoke means creosote is building up in that chimney stack. Okay? Remember that. If you see smoke coming out your chimney and it's not from just pure heat, it's say it's super cold outside. You know the difference between the smoke to come out your mouth because it's cold outside, and you know the difference between wood smoke. You do not want to see no white bellowing wood smoke coming out the top of your chimney, okay? Because that means creosote is building up. You want to see a kind of a blue smoke, like you smoking a pot roast or a brisket or something. A light bluish smoke, low key, where you can barely see it. That's what you want. Like, look, let me show you a bad. Here's bad. This is bad. See this smoke here coming out? That's doing too much. That's doing too much. So what I'm gonna do until okay, it's the wood is taking off now. But in the meantime, what I'm gonna do, watch this. I'm gonna open this door. I need more oxygen. That's just not enough oxygen, right? Now watch what happens to the smokestack. No more smoke. See that? No more smoke. This is all an oxygen game. You playing with oxygen because that needs oxygen to ignite. If it's not getting enough oxygen, it's not gonna burn properly. If it's getting too much oxygen, it's gonna burn way too hot, too fast. Okay, so it's a game. Is all it is. This is how you can keep controlling it. And once your wood is started up good, um, thank you, Granny Karma. Once your wood is started up real good, you ain't gonna have that smoke problem because it's gonna be burning down into coals. And then you're gonna be all right. Once you get, here's the best thing about a wood stove. Once you get a bed of coals, there is nothing else you really need to do or worry about. Once you get a nice big, let me show you inside here. Once you get a bunch of these, let me zoom in for you. Once you get a big bed of those nice coals down on the bottom burning like that, then what you have is a nice starter kit. You want that whole bottom half just glowing orange like that down there, but fill that up. And anything you throw in there gonna catch and ignite and burn like that. Even wet wood, which you don't really want to do, but if you have to, you better make sure you got a nice bed of coals down there to get the job done. See, I'll close that up. But that's it. All right. Make sure you have a good base. You don't want to put this directly on the floor because this is hot under here too. Okay. This is metal, and then under there is a space with a airflow vent going under it. So you can't really tell, but I know. See my hand? It's air going through there. This is a metal that's deflecting and reflecting that heat back upward. So I know how I've used this many a time. Old beekeeping top. So, do I have any questions, y'all? Any questions? Because now it's time to really get your heat game together. Ain't no going back. Winter is here and it's tearing people's heads off. Let me see what we got. Say, but the kaboom cleaned the entire. I must have missed something. Patient saying, "What's going on, my brother?" Oh, say I had a chimney once that went boom, kaboom. Landlord didn't clean it regularly, but that kaboom cleaned the entire chimney. I had bags and bags of creosote. Yeah, that's not a joke, and it's so scary, cause the boom, that thing was breathing. I can't make listen. I can't make that up. My wood stove sounded like a monster coming to life, and every time it gasified and burnt that gas, the whole thing lit up and the glass shook and the doggone whole wood stove shook and it made that noise. I was like, ugh, I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm about to make it stop. I don't care what I got to do. Uh, Shoot, I go in my car and cut it on to sleep all night before I stay up in this mug if I have to, because this ain't that kind of scary movie. Just in case they didn't know. Okay, how do you control how fast your wood burns in an indoor fireplace? I feel like my fireplace eats wood like M&Ms. That's because it does. And here's the thing. I am a firm believer in open it all the way up, pedal to the metal. I'm a firm believer in that now. I didn't used to be until I realized when I burn it wide open like this, I do feed it a lot of wood, but I also get way less creosote, like way less. Okay, when I start messing with this and messing with the one behind here, you gonna have creosote buildup. Now let me tell you something. If you want to know how to burn less wood, there is a secret to burning less wood in your wood stove. Unfortunately, it is expensive, and that is buying premium wood. If you buy premium wood, meaning it's perfectly seasoned, meaning it's a hardwood like hickory, like pecan, like what's the other one? Persimmon, oak, birch. When you burn those hardwoods like that, here's the thing. They don't burn that fast because the wood on them is so dense. The wood, say good seasoned wood burns fast. Nope, that's not true. Over seasoned wood burns fast. Trust me on that. You can over season wood too. You can dry that wood out so dry that it's like burning notebook paper. Here's a little thing that I learned last year. You don't want, that's why I keep saying perfectly dried wood. I'm not just saying dried wood, right? Every wood, when you burning it in a wood stove, needs a percentage of moisture still in the wood. So at the land, I have a moisture meter that it got two prongs on it, and you could test your wood. It's a moisture meter tester for wood. It's like for your garden too, right? So you set it, say I got some hickory wood. You set it on hickory and you stick those two prongs in like that, and it'll say 30% perfect. I guarantee you that thing ain't steered me wrong yet. That one log of wood will burn for about 2 hours. I'm going to tell you how I can prove it. I have been on a live stream at the cabin for probably 3 or 4 hours a couple of times, and you didn't see me put no wood in that wood stove behind me, but it was still burning, and you saw that hot fire. You may have seen me put one log in the fire after 2 or 3 hours. That's that perfectly seasoned wood that I tested myself. So every time, say we got a lot of down trees from the storms, hickory, oak, pecan, and maple. Okay, you might want to use that, chop it up and put it away. So the wood that I bring inside my house has already been tested. The wood on my front porch is wood that I bring out from the land or wood that my family members bring. And when it gets to the porch, it gets tested. When it gets tested, it comes in the house. If it's perfect wood. If it's almost there, it stays on the porch. I let it sit out there a little longer. That's how I run that. Now see, this is birch. And you always want to put that thing in there and give it some gaps for oxygen. So just want to say thank you, Led. I appreciate you always having good, important information, skills, information builds us up. You always have good stuff to watch and learn from. Thank you for that, Nessa. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Let's see. I think most fireplaces in new houses over the past couple decades have been built more for looks than putting out heat. Um, yeah, Granny. Sound like a train roaring. Absolutely. You know what? They got some for looks, but the one that I have, I think it's a good looking wood stove, but it's efficient. It's very, very efficient. It runs very efficiently. It literally captures. Remember, I told you that wood lets out gasified air? So that gasification goes up into this chamber and it burns the gases coming off the wood as it's burning the actual wood itself. Eddie Morrison says, I wonder if that would heat a 275 square foot shed. What, this? Eddie Morrison, are you talking about this right here? I want to make sure. I'm waiting for Eddie Morrison. Are you talking about this little guy here? Yes. No. No. It won't. I had this in my tents. It did a hell of a job. I almost want to say yes, but I'm gonna say no. Um, it will heat up. I'm gonna say it will heat up a space about 15 by 15, 20 by 20. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay. Uh, it does a heck of a job. Now let me tell you something about this little guy. It really, really works, and I'm really, it's putting out the heat on me right now. Plus, this fan is blowing the heat over this way. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you use cheap wood, you're gonna constantly be feeding it all day, all night. You'll never stop feeding it wood. You won't get no sleep. Because if you go to sleep and you burning this, you're gonna wake up in about 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes to feed it again. You got to throw some more wood in it because it can only take wood that's so big, and it got to be cut at a perfect size. Now, speaking of wood that's being cut at a perfect size, let me show you. Can I show y'all a hat? How many people interested? Let me show you something. Show you one more little hat. I did this years ago, and people thought I wasn't even selling anything. I was really, truly, I ain't never selling nothing, but people thought I was doing something for a company, and I wasn't at all. I have no ties to Ryobi whatsoever. Say this is a big log right here, right? Say this is a big log. Let me show you something cool. All your logs ain't gonna fit in your wood stove. It don't matter what size you got it. If you got a big wood stove, for instance, my wood stove on the cabin is, I think it's a 16-inch, where you can get a 16-inch log in there. This is the part they don't tell you. It can fit a 16-inch log. They are talking about from the very, very back of it to the glass. You are not going to fit that in sideways, because I believe the sideways is something like 14 inches. You're not going to fit it. So you don't want that wood sitting right here on the glass like that. You just don't. It could, if that wood happens to pop, and it's going to crack that glass. It may not break it, but it'll crack it. You just don't want to be putting nothing on your glass, okay? So I always cut my wood at a certain length. If you need to cut it in half, I like to, if you take a 16-inch, if mine take a 16-inch piece, I like to cut mine into 8 pieces. 8 inches. This is why. If you cut it into about 8 inches, 10 inches, you can fit more wood in that firebox so you can sleep all night. You jam-pack that firebox with a bunch of 8-inch pieces, and you can turn them any way you want to. If I got one 16 piece that's going from the back to the glass, that's the only way it's going to sit right there. Plus, I'm risking breaking the glass. If you got a bunch of half of that size. You can turn them any kind of way you want, and you can manipulate them how you like it and have enough little oxygen tube for that fire to breathe off of. But here's the hack. Look, you see, ever seen one of these? I had a Ryobi and it just broke. I got this, no sponsor. I got this from Aldi's. I can't make this up. God is good. I just broke my Ryobi Sawzall, right? I broke it. It was my fault. Low maintenance, rusted out, leaving it out in the rain. Broke it trying to fix it. And I can't make this up. I went right to Aldi. I was going to get something completely different and ran into this for $24. It's rechargeable and everything. So this ain't a sponsorship thing. This is just an actual showing you God is good. This little piece here comes off. This holds the wood in place while you cut. But here's the hack itself. If you get this, it got a little safety button on it. This is not how you use it either, okay? Just so you know. Hold on. Okay, the battery is low on that thing. But now I have two pieces that I don't have to put in like this anymore. Now I can put them like this. I can put them like this. I can put a bunch of these like this. And then, or I can put them like this. See that? Just like this, just like that, just like this. I can fit more in, and I don't have to be at the mercy of the shape or the size or the length of that wood. And that's what I do on the land. So several of my family members been out to my land, and they're probably wondering why I got so much wood all over the place and chopped up in weird pieces like this. This is why. This is why I do that. Okay. Just like that. And this fan is blowing all that heat towards me. So you can see no smoke at the top. We ain't smoking. Smoke going straight up, and the heat is radiating all the way over here. So if you have any questions at all, I'm all ears, y'all. I just want to make sure everybody is safe. Make sure you out there checking your gear. If you got a buddy heater, cut it on. Make sure that buddy heater is operational. If you have a diesel heater, cut it on. Make sure it's operational. I had a diesel heater, like my friend asked me earlier, did I ever figure it out? It was simple as the fuel line was pinched. So the fuel line, I guess it was the fuel line that it came with from the factory. It was just shoddy fuel line, and it had been pinched so long. So what I did, I just took the fuel line off. I opened the whole thing up, the case, took the fuel line off, put on new fuel line, and routed it different so it didn't kink up. Right up. So the drier, let me see. So the drier it is, the less smoke you get. No. Well, yes, that too. The drier it is, the less smoke you get, and the hotter you burn it, the less smoke you get. If I turn this down, let me show you. If I cut this heat down, watch smoke come out the top. Watch this. I'm gonna bring you down a little bit because I want you to see the level of the smoke. Okay. First, I'm gonna do this. I want you to see the roaring fire, and I'm gonna control it with the one I said I don't like using. I'm gonna try to let you see the whole thing here the best I can. Okay. I'm going to shut the flue a little bit. Look at that fire. Now look up. See that? Smoking like a monster. See all that smoke? Look at the fire. I controlled the fire. The fire ain't roaring no more, right? The fire ain't roaring no more. But with that smoke up there is telling me creosote is building up in my chimney stack. Yes, I'm controlling the fire, but I'm also making my chimney and my fireplace dangerous by doing that. So let's cut that back up. Let me show you too what I'm doing so you understand exactly what I'm doing. I'm just turning that flue. Open it back up. That's what I'm doing. I'm just turning that little knob. See it? Now look at this fire again. Roaring, right? Now look at the smoke. No more smoke. Oh, that's gonna stop in a second. But look, no more smoke. See it's roaring? Now let's try that again. We're controlling it with this one, okay? Let's try it again. Turn that down, making it so not enough oxygen getting to it, okay? I can control it. I can control that fire, but watch this. I just cut that fire down a little bit. I got that all the way closed. You don't hear it roaring no more, do you? And watch this. You don't see no smoke either, do you? Them the heat waves you looking at. Now look again. I'm controlling that same fire with this one. Not letting it get all the oxygen. See, this is the pre-burn. This is the pre-burn. Now look again. I'm controlling that fire. You don't hear it roaring, right? Look up again. No smoke. So what you want to do is control the damper. How much oxygen is getting in the chamber to help burn the wood. You don't control the afterburn, that's trying to control the heat, because the heat has already been burnt. So all you're doing is gasifying it. You just collecting creosote. See, now that right there, you play with your oxygen. You don't play with that doggone that flap up there. Leave that alone. Keep that wide open. And you play with how much oxygen is getting in your wood burner. That way you can control your fire, you controlling your oxygen, and you still burning that wood hot, and you ain't getting no creosote buildup coming out of your chimney stack. So that's why now I'm gonna cut it back up for you. Now listen close. I want you to listen to the roar of this fire. Watch it when I open it up. Do y'all hear that? You hear it roaring? See, I'm still controlling the fire, but I'm controlling it before, not after the combustion. Now listen close. No more roar. Controlling the fire. Still doing the same thing, but no dangerous smoke. Okay? So the reason I'm doing this today is because some people don't know this. And I'm telling you, I found out from experience. I've been using these little wood stoves, these little camp wood stoves for a long time, for years now. And having land and using a big wood stove, this helped me learn how to run my big wood stove. The only problem I had is I was getting a little beside myself and was burning junk wood, wet wood, and that's when it let the goblins up out of it. And I know not to do that no more. I will not burn wet wood, period. I won't do it indoors. So that's why I say have backup to your backup. Because if your wood ain't seasoned good enough, burn your buddy heater. Burn your diesel heater. Use your kerosene heater, whatever. But if your wood ain't seasoned enough to use your wood stove, or just go buy some doggone wood if you ain't got land. Just go buy some dang on wood. You know? Let's see. Big Bad Bo says, does the wood burn slower when the lower vent is not wide open? Yeah, that's what I just showed. See how, look at the flame. That's why I just showed that. Because I wanted you to not just hear what I'm saying, but actually look at the results. It's burning lower and slower, right? It's still burning hot though, because my hand is roasting right here. It's still burning hot, but it's not no creosote buildup inside your chimney pipe. Now, if I use that one back there, that all, I got a perfect example for you. Perfect example. Listen to this. This will make it make more sense. Let's use the human body, right? If you restrict how much food you put in your body, you won't have as many problems out the rear end, right? Stick with me. I need y'all to see if y'all with me. If you restrict and don't put as much food, jammed food in your mouth, you can pretty much control what your guts are going to do, because this is your guts, okay? Your guts, inside your guts, you're burning fuel. That's what you're doing here. This is your mouth right here, okay? So we're restricting our mouth. So if we restrict our mouth, we know we're eating good food, healthy food. It's going to burn and send nutrients exactly where it needs to be. That's the fire chamber in here. The food is the wood. If you eat good food, I mean, if you put in premium good wood, that's like eating premium good food, fruits and vegetables, and you know, it's the same. Now, here's the thing. You come with me now. You restrict what you put in your mouth to see how your guts are going to burn it efficiently, right? This is your butthole. Your smokestack is your butthole. You don't restrict your butthole. If you restrict your butthole, that means you're constipated, right? What's going to happen if you're concentrated? You hear this? I'm sorry, honey. What's going to happen if you're constipated and your butthole is restricted, right? All kind of crazy stuff is going to build up in your gut. It's going to build up. It's not going to burn efficiently, and something bad is going to happen. Come on and tell me if you with me, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's why the only thing you need to be dealing with is the mouth of this beast. Okay? You you restrict or you open it. If you're really hungry and you about to run sports, you about to go jogging, you go ahead and open it up. You've already put in premium food. Okay, this is good hardwood, good birch. So you put premium wood into your mouth. Now, this is the only thing you're restricting. You don't restrict your butthole. Only bad can happen if you restrict your exhaust. You understand? That's why I don't believe in that. I don't mess with that anymore. Ever. Listen, ever. I used to think they was cool back when I first started getting into wood heaters, but now I don't even need that thing. I don't use it at all. I leave it wide open. That's it. The only time I close my one on the say I'm over here trying to learn. I'm trying to tell you now. The only time I keep mine closed, the butthole, is during the summertime so squirrels and stuff don't try to get in and get in the house. That's it. So we're going to feed it again. Let's give it some premium food. Good premium wood. This is like fruits and vegetables. If you put in soggy wood, listen, rotten wood, termite wood, wood that got mushrooms and fungus growing on it, that wood is like candy. It's garbage. And it won't burn right in the burn chamber. It won't burn right in the gut, okay? If you put a bunch of junk and garbage into the burn chamber, into the mouth of the beast, it won't perform properly. Because when you put in junk wood, old sticks out the yard, even though we do it, I do it still, it's not going to burn efficiently. And just like junk food, what it's going to end up doing, you're going to keep feeding it, keep feeding it, keep feeding it, because this will never be happy enough. You're going to keep feeding it because you're feeding it junk. You're feeding it old sticks, junk you found in the yard, rotten wood, waterlogged wood, wet wood, and it's never going to act right. So that's the best I could come up with. If you, it even made my wife laugh, and she on the whole other side of the house. Okay, any questions, y'all? Any questions? Carrie, thank you for putting up so much things into perspective, showing the real life experiences without all the complicated scientific terminology. This is how people learn. Thanks again. Thank you. And you know something? Hell, I can't. I'm with you 100%. Because this is how I like showing people how I learn. And that's how I learn. You got to think of it in another way. The way you live. Think of it in reality. And you'll never go wrong like that. So let me restrict my mouth. We done put enough good food in it. That's all we need. Okay. So this is how you run a good wood stove. But let me show you something else cool about this. These racks, they're good for handles. These legs fold under. I'll leave the link to this after this video because this is actually one of my favorite wood stoves of all time. Okay. Now, these racks, they're good for handles. You carry them together. Both of them fold up, and you carry them together. But here's the part that's really good, okay? Let me show you something, which I use this part all the time. Say you got some clothes or your socks got wet and you out camping, or you got a rag on your campsite. Yeah, this is nasty. This is my outdoor rag. You got a outdoor rag campsite, wiping off stuff in the tent. Look, you dry it like this. You put that there, and it will dry that thing in probably less than 20 minutes, if that. If that. If you got it really big, put it over like that. Run it over 2 of them. You can have a pot of tea right here. It's going to warm up. You got your fan right here. Or you can scoot your fan up closer and put your tea back here. You can put your pot of tea back here or be cooking back here. Your fan is running. You drying your socks and drying your wet towels and everything else, drying your little gloves and stuff over here. This is how you, Katina Brooks says, I remember this stove when you stayed in a tent all night. That's right. That's right. Okay. And I'm going to be showing y'all my Camp Chef stove too, because me and my son is about to weld some new legs on it. And I want to make sure y'all, I can smell it already heating up. I can smell this heating up. What's up, Mike? What's going on, brother? Said this winter, this weather is crazy. 69 degrees right now in Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, I don't think it's 60 nothing degrees right here. I ain't gonna. Yeah, look. You see it smoking? See it smoking? Can y'all see that? Did you see it smoking? That's how hot that gets. Yeah, let's move that because that's dry as a bone. That don't need to be dried out. I just did that for an example to show y'all how well it works. But if you got something wet or you trying to warm up some tea or something, set it right here. You know, that's it. You got you a can of soup or something, and like I've done before, open a can of soup. I won't even put that pot on top of here. I set it on the side over here and just let it slowly warm up while I'm doing something else, and it'll be perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Hey, T-Wo, what's going up? She says, I'm here late, but I also connected the pellet hopper to mine. Okay, T-Wo, you hook the pellet hopper to yours, and I have a question for you. You have the exact same wood stove, correct? And the pellet hopper that she's talking about, that she hooked on y'all, I'm gonna show y'all. Watch this. Move that out the way. This has a plate on it that comes out right here. That has a plate that comes out, so you need more heat. You put your pot right there, okay, like the olden days. Same exact stove, that's right. So the pellet hopper goes in this hole. And the pellet hopper comes up about this big. You fill it with a bag full of pellets, and it burns this all night. You don't have to keep feeding any wood through this way. Okay, here's my question. Here's my question. Fresh and Fire, no, the fan doesn't come with it, but they cost like $12. Here's my question to you, T-Wo. There is no electronic ignition on that pellet stove, correct? There is nothing electronic about it. So pellets just fall through that chamber and burn. There's no air mixture, no oxygen helping push that or burn those pellets. Because that's important. Now that I've been messing with these smokers, that's correct. Now that I've been messing with these smoker grills, I'm seeing how important that fan is on those pellets. Because if you don't have some sort of fan blowing those pellets, they're going to kind of just sit there and smolder until they may end up smoking and even going in reverse and lighting up that pellet hopper. So we gonna have to talk about that a little more, because that's very important. Because this is what made me think of that idea, think of that whole thing, is because these barbecue smokers, these electric smokers, they only use like 19 watts while they're running, and that's just to blow the fan. That's it. Once they have ignited, they're only running the fan, so it's only using 19 watts the whole time, and that's what keeps those pellets roaring like that. Let me see. T-Wo says gravity fed. Oxygen comes in from the sides and at the base. You can adjust the air intake there. Man, I really want to see that thing. I want to see that bad. Okay. I think we losing people with the conversation. Okay, but okay. Any other questions before we get out of here, y'all? Because I just wanted to make sure that y'all don't burn your house down. And this is the perfect way to do it. I'm getting good heat. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Yes, we will. Put that back where I had it. But this is how you control your heat. Control your heat with the mouth, not the butthole. Trust me on this. Okay, just think of your body. Think of your body. And everything else, you will understand it. Okay? Let me see. What's up, Dave Busby? How you doing, brother? Okay, Katina Brooks, can I use my rocket stove as a heat source? You can. The only problem is you need somewhere for the exhaust. You need somewhere for that burnt stuff to go. Like rocket stove doesn't have a smokestack unless you have something that I'm not aware of. You need to get that. Are you talking about a heat source inside the house? Um, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Let me see. Got some more questions. Lady Acres says, I have a. Okay. Okay. Question. Melody says, how often will. What was that? How often will we have to repaint it if it rusts? That just depends on how rusty it is. I haven't painted this in 5 years and it's rusty, and I really do. Me, I do need to get the rust off and repaint it. This was outside for like a year solid straight. Outside, outdoors. So they really last longer. They really last longer and look way better than this. This is from misuse. This is from me leaving it on this back porch, leaving it out there by the island, leaving it at Freedom Acres outside. So, you know, I'm going to put this actual this item and that fan, I'm gonna put it in the description box below. That way everybody can go and find it. Okay, if we have no more questions, I'll let y'all roll, get on out of here. I seem like I had another question. Okay, Big Bad says, would that be a better heat source than an 8 kilowatt diesel heater? I'm using two 8 kilowatt diesel heaters in my garage. Ooh, you just started a conversation, Big Bad Bo. Okay, Big Bad Bo. Apples and oranges, brother. The difference is apples and oranges. A diesel heater is just as great. Here's my problem with a diesel heater versus a wood stove. Remember, I have land here with plenty of trees. Freedom Acres, I have acreage with plenty of trees. Okay? Here's the thing. You'll never run out of fuel for this. You don't need electricity for this. This fan is running off of heat. It's not running off electricity. So everything you see right now is all natural. It's being run by fire only. This firebox is heating up this area because it's running off of fire, and that fan is being run off of the heat from the fire, right? So I can take this anywhere in the world and it will heat me up and work for me. A diesel heater, you need diesel fuel. A diesel heater, you need electricity. I love a diesel heater and I love how well they heat everything up. They really, really, really work. But you also need the fuel. There is no natural resource for a diesel heater. Even if you can find a natural, because you can't, I'm not going to say it, but there are things that you can burn in a diesel heater that you can find anywhere. The problem is you still need electricity to run the motor and the fan of the diesel heater, which will always be a situation, an issue, right? Even though it sips power, it only uses something like 8 to 19 watts to run your diesel heater on medium right? It uses probably 30 watts on high. Problem is, it still uses watts. So if it was a life or death situation, I would always pick a wood stove over everything else. I would pick a wood stove over a diesel heater. I would pick a wood stove over kerosene. I would pick a wood stove over propane. I would pick a wood stove over electric heater because I don't have to rely on outside sources to heat myself up. So when you ask which would be better, a diesel heater or a wood stove, there that's a no-go for me. It's apples and oranges. It's two entirely different ball games, right? Are we talking about survival, or are we talking about just normally heating things up? You know, are we talking about emergency, or are we talking about just heating things up? If we're talking about just every day, the world is nice and everybody is happy and friendly, yeah, diesel heaters all day. But when it comes to the economy, it comes to how much money you got in your pocket. Are you going to spend money heating your home or feeding your family? Wood stove all day. Emergency situation, which one would be the top notch? Diesel heater, wood stove all day. But as the world turns and everything is normal and casual, when things are normal, everybody got money in their pocket, diesel heater, of course, absolutely. And buddy heater, propane, absolutely. But those two, to me, is that was just kind of like saying who's the best fighter, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. It's two entirely different worlds. Two entire two entirely different realms of greatness. There is no such thing to me. They just fit in two different categories to me, even though they was doing the same thing, right? Now, uh, Carrie says, personally, I don't care about the aesthetics when I'm trying to keep warm. That's me. That's me. Okay. But I think I like this thing so much, and the price have went through the roof. Can you post the chef stove link also? I will. Matter of fact, my camp chef is right here. I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm gonna show you my camp chef stove. Here go my diesel heater. One diesel heater right here. Camp chef upside down. You see it? The reason I got this upside down because I'm about to knock this rust off of it and weld legs on it. I don't like the detachable legs. That I think it's kind of stupid, really. So I'm gonna weld legs on here. So that's the one I'm lighting up next. So if you want, I'm gonna put the Camp Chef link in there. Me and my son, I should weld it today because it's nice and cool out here. Should go ahead and weld them legs on today. Weld the legs, and I want to weld some feet, some flat feet or rounded feet on the bottom instead of just straight stick legs because it pokes through the bottom of a tent, right? You're welcome, Nikki. You're welcome. When you have that in a tent, that'll poke right through the floor of your tent because it's so heavy. So that's why I put tennis balls on the end of them. That's enough for that. It's time to put some real feet on there, something that can, like a pad. So I'll make sure I put those links down there for you. If I don't have any more questions, I'll let y'all go. And definitely, Siri, I get that out there for you. But who just said that earlier? Carrie, I am going to go ahead and knock the dust off this and repaint it. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna knock the dust off of it. I like this stove that much, and when I bought this stove back 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it's been, this stove used to be like $56. I it's I don't know what it is now. It ain't $56 though. It's worth every freaking cent, no matter how much it costs. But I don't need to buy another one if I just go ahead and knock that rust off and go ahead and hit him with some Rust-Oleum and call it a day, right? So everybody that's looking for this stove and this fan and the Camp Chef I just showed you, all right, I'll put it in the description box below. Give me about 15 to 30 minutes so the video can process, and then I'll get that link in there for y'all, all right? Everybody, thank you for watching Live Farmer 73. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. Be careful. Don't take no stupid risks out in this weather. If you talking about some go out there, I'm about to go get me a bag of hot Fritos real quick because it's about to be nice and cozy in the house and I want to sit down and watch TV and stuff, but I need me a bag of hot Cheetos while I'm watching. Man, don't go risk your life for no hot Cheeto. Girl, you want some Chinese food? I got a taste for some pizza. I ain't got to work today, and they got to call the school. The kids get to stay home. We're going to order a pizza. Stay your butt home. Go in there and crack open an old ass can of chili or something. Don't be out in this weather doing stuff. I'm about to run to the store real quick. Don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. All right? With that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of y'all night. Please be safe with this crazy weather. We're going to have a couple of months of it. And get ready. It's on its way, right? Live Farmer 73. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace. Control that fire.